Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when God decides to open a door that no man can shut. There are seasons when heaven releases a blessing so suddenly, so powerfully, that it changes everything about your situation. Many people pray for such moments. They fast, they cry, and they ask God to transform their financial condition. But when the blessing finally comes, many people make a mistake that stops the flow of that miracle. They speak too quickly. They announce it everywhere. And sometimes what God intended to grow quietly becomes weakened by the voices of doubt, jealousy, and misunderstanding. When this money comes into your life, you must understand as there is a powerful truth that many people overlook when they pray for financial blessings. Not every blessing is meant to be announced immediately. Often the greatest miracles in life begin quietly. Just like a seed planted in the soil grows in darkness before it ever breaks through the surface, many blessings from God grow in silence before they are revealed to the world. When money or opportunity suddenly enters your life, wisdom must guide your response. Excitement is natural, but wisdom reminds us that silence can sometimes protect the blessing that God has placed in our hands. Many people pray for prosperity, asking God to change their financial situation. They imagine the day when their struggles will finally end and abundance will replace scarcity. But when that moment arrives, the first reaction for many is to share the news with everyone around them. They call friends, relatives, neighbors, and sometimes even strangers. They want the world to know that something good has happened. However, what many people do not realize is that not everyone around them carries the same spirit of joy or goodwill. Some people celebrate your progress, but others quietly struggle with jealousy, doubt, or negative thinking. Those unseen attitudes can influence your environment more than you expect. When blessings remain quiet in their early stages, they are often stronger and more stable. Silence creates space for gratitude and reflection. Instead of rushing to tell everyone what has happened, a wise person pauses and thanks God for the opportunity. They take time to think carefully about how to manage the blessing. They ask themselves how this new provision can bring stability to their life and security to their family. They reflect on how this gift can be used responsibly rather than simply celebrated loudly. There is also spiritual wisdom in understanding that some blessings are personal moments between you and God. When God answers a prayer, that moment is sacred. It represents faith rewarded and patience fulfilled. When you keep that moment private at first, it deepens your gratitude. It reminds you that the blessing did not come from human approval or public recognition, but from divine favor. Silence becomes a form of humility. It keeps pride from growing and keeps your heart focused on the source of the blessing rather than the attention it might bring. Another reason silence is powerful is that it protects you from unnecessary pressure. When people know that you have received money or opportunity, expectations often begin to appear. Some people may ask for financial help immediately. Others may begin to treat you differently. There may be requests, demands, or even judgments about how you should use your resources. What began as a joyful blessing can quickly become stressful if too many voices surround it. By remaining quiet at first, you give yourself the time and freedom to make wise decisions without the influence of outside pressure. Silence also allows the blessing to grow naturally. Many opportunities require careful planning and patience before they become truly successful. If people know about them too early, their opinions and doubts can create discouragement. Negative words can plant seeds of fear in your mind. But when you protect your progress with quiet confidence, you allow your vision to mature without interference. By the time others see the results, the foundation will already be strong. True wisdom understands that not every victory needs immediate applause. Some victories are stronger when they are protected in silence. Gratitude, humility, and patience help transform a simple financial blessing into lasting prosperity. When you learn to quietly honor the blessings that come into your life, you create space for those blessings to grow stronger, deeper, and more meaningful. In that quiet place between you and God, the miracle continues to expand, and the favor that began in silence becomes a testimony that will eventually speak for itself. There are moments in life when blessings arrive in ways we never expected. Many people spend years praying, hoping, and believing that one day their financial situation will change. They work hard, they endure seasons of difficulty, and they keep faith even when circumstances seem impossible. Then suddenly, without warning, something shifts. A door opens that was once closed. An opportunity appears where there was once nothing. Unexpected provision enters their life, and they realize that what they had been praying for is finally beginning to manifest. This kind of blessing often feels surprising because it does not always come in the way we imagined. Sometimes people expect miracles to happen slowly, step by step, but God often works differently. There are moments when everything changes quickly. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes reality today. Financial relief, opportunities, or resources may appear through a new job, a business breakthrough, an unexpected gift, or a connection that changes everything. These moments remind us that divine timing does not always follow human expectations. When such provision arrives, it is important to recognize it as more than just luck or coincidence. Many people work hard throughout their lives, but there are certain moments that clearly feel like divine intervention. It feels as though the right opportunity appeared at exactly the right time. The right person entered your path when you needed them most. The situation that once felt blocked suddenly opened without struggle. These moments often carry a sense of peace and assurance that something greater is guiding the outcome. However, unexpected provision also requires wisdom and calm thinking. When people receive something they have waited for a long time, excitement can sometimes take control. They may rush into decisions, spend quickly, or speak openly about their blessing without thinking about the consequences. But a wise person pauses. They recognize that sudden opportunity carries responsibility. Instead of reacting with impulsive celebration, they respond with thoughtful gratitude and careful planning. One of the most powerful responses to unexpected financial favor is gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart humble and grounded. When someone remembers the difficult days that came before the blessing, they develop a deeper appreciation for what they have received. This attitude protects them from pride and reminds them that the blessing is not something to misuse or take lightly. Gratitude also creates a mindset that attracts further growth and stability. Another important aspect of handling sudden provision is patience. Even when money or opportunity appears quickly, the process of building a stable future still takes time. Wise individuals understand that lasting success is not created by one moment alone. It is built through consistent decisions, careful management, and thoughtful use of resources. Instead of rushing to display their new situation, they quietly focus on strengthening their foundation. Unexpected provision also invites reflection about purpose. When blessings arrive, they are not only meant to improve one person's life, but can also become tools for positive impact. A wise person considers how their new resources might support their family, help others, or contribute to something meaningful. This perspective transforms financial blessing into something greater than personal comfort. It becomes an opportunity to bring hope, stability, and encouragement to others. In many ways, unexpected provision is a reminder that life can change at any moment. The struggles of yesterday do not always determine the possibilities of tomorrow. Doors can open suddenly, and situations can shift in ways that no one predicted. Those who remain faithful, patient, and humble during difficult seasons are often the ones who recognize the value of the blessing when it arrives. Instead of allowing excitement to lead them into careless actions, they move forward with wisdom, gratitude, and a deep respect for the opportunity placed before them. There is a powerful lesson in life about the timing of our words. Many people believe that the moment something good happens, they must immediately tell everyone about it. They feel excitement rising in their hearts, and they want to share the news with friends, family, and anyone who will listen. While sharing joy can be natural, there are moments when speaking too soon can create problems that could have been avoided with patience and wisdom. This is especially true when it comes to financial blessings, opportunities, or breakthroughs that have just begun to appear in your life. Words carry influence. The moment you announce something to the world, you invite many different voices into your situation. Some voices will be supportive and encouraging, but others may not be as positive. People have different perspectives, different beliefs, and different emotions. When they hear about your opportunity or your blessing, they may respond in ways that affect your confidence and your decisions. Sometimes they may question your plans or express doubt about whether the opportunity will truly succeed. Even if they do not intend harm, their words can plant uncertainty in your mind. This is why wisdom teaches us that not every blessing needs immediate public attention. When something new enters your life, especially something that has the potential to transform your future, it needs time to grow and develop. Just as a young plant needs protection while it is still fragile, a new opportunity often needs quiet space to become stable. Speaking too soon can expose it to unnecessary opinions, pressure, and expectations before it has had the chance to take root. There are also emotional pressures that come from announcing things too early. When people know about your plans or your financial progress, they may begin watching closely to see what happens next. Some may expect immediate results or assume that everything will succeed perfectly. This can create a feeling of pressure that was not there before. Instead of focusing calmly on building and growing the opportunity, you may begin worrying about how others will react if something does not go exactly as planned. Silence protects you from that unnecessary burden. Another challenge of speaking too soon is that it can attract distractions. The moment people hear that you are receiving money or experiencing financial improvement, some individuals may approach you with requests, suggestions, or demands. They may expect support, assistance, or involvement in your plans. While helping others is a noble and meaningful act, it should come from thoughtful decision rather than emotional pressure. By remaining quiet in the early stages of your blessing, you allow yourself the time to make wise choices without feeling rushed by outside influences. Patience with words also strengthens your inner confidence. When you keep your plans and blessings private for a time, you focus more deeply on the process itself. You invest your energy in planning, learning, and building rather than explaining or defending your decisions to others. This creates a stronger foundation for long-term success. Instead of spending time talking about what you hope will happen, you spend that time making sure it truly happens. There is also a deeper spiritual wisdom in waiting before speaking. Sometimes silence allows you to listen more carefully to guidance and direction. When your mind is not filled with the reactions of others, you can think clearly and recognize the best path forward. You become more aware of opportunities and more careful with your choices. This quiet reflection often leads to better outcomes than quick announcements driven by excitement. When the right time finally comes, the results will naturally speak for themselves. People will see the progress, the stability, and the success without needing a long explanation. By then, the foundation will be strong enough to withstand opinions and expectations. Speaking later, when the blessing has matured, carries more power than speaking early when everything is still uncertain. Silence in the beginning protects the journey, allowing the opportunity to grow into something real and lasting. In life, every breakthrough carries a certain level of vulnerability, especially in its early stages. When something new and positive begins to happen, whether it is financial improvement, a new opportunity, or a sudden blessing, it is often still fragile. During this time, the environment around that blessing matters greatly. The attitudes, words, and emotions of people around you can influence how strong that breakthrough becomes. This is why wisdom teaches us to be careful about who we allow into our personal victories, particularly when those victories are just beginning to grow. Not every person in our lives reacts the same way when they see someone else succeed. Some people genuinely celebrate the progress of others and feel inspired by it. They offer encouragement and positive support. However, there are also individuals who may feel uncomfortable or insecure when they see someone else rising. These feelings do not always appear openly. Sometimes jealousy hides behind polite smiles or curious questions. Sometimes doubt appears in the form of advice that seems helpful but actually carries negative expectations. When a person receives financial favor or unexpected provision, the reactions of others can become even stronger. Money often changes the way people behave. Some may begin to compare themselves to you, wondering why you received an opportunity that they did not. Others may quietly question whether you deserve the blessing. These thoughts may never be spoken directly, but the energy behind them can still affect the atmosphere around you. That is why protecting your breakthrough from unnecessary exposure is an act of wisdom rather than secrecy. Doubt can also come from well-meaning people who simply do not understand your vision. Friends or relatives might express concern, asking whether your opportunity is safe or whether it will truly succeed. They may suggest that you should be cautious or that you should not expect too much. While their intentions may be protective, their words can create hesitation or fear in your mind. When you are building something new, confidence and focus are essential. Too many outside opinions can distract you from the clarity you need to move forward. Protecting your breakthrough means learning to guard your mindset. The thoughts you allow to enter your mind will influence your actions and decisions. If your mind becomes filled with doubt or comparison, it becomes harder to remain focused on your goals. But when you protect your vision and limit negative influences, you create an environment where your confidence can grow. This does not mean isolating yourself completely, but it does mean choosing carefully who you trust with your personal progress. Another important part of protection is humility. When people receive financial favor, there can be a temptation to display it openly. They may want others to see the change in their circumstances. However, humility keeps the focus on gratitude rather than attention. A humble approach allows the blessing to grow quietly and naturally. Instead of trying to prove success to others, the focus remains on building stability and making wise choices. Over time, genuine success becomes visible without needing to be announced. When a breakthrough is protected during its early stages, it develops a stronger foundation. The decisions made in quiet moments shape the future of that blessing. Careful planning, patience, and thoughtful management help transform a temporary opportunity into long-term stability. There will eventually come a moment when others begin to notice the progress in your life. They may see the results of your hard work and the wisdom with which you handled your opportunity. By that time, the breakthrough is no longer fragile. It has grown strong enough to stand on its own. The opinions or emotions of others will no longer have the same influence because the foundation has already been established. In this way, protecting your breakthrough is not about hiding success, but about allowing it the time and space it needs to mature. Just as a young tree must grow strong roots before it can face strong winds, every blessing benefits from a season of quiet growth. When that season is respected, the breakthrough becomes something lasting and powerful rather than something easily shaken by the reactions of others. When financial favor enters a person's life, it brings not only opportunity, but also responsibility. Money itself is not simply a reward. It is a tool that must be handled with wisdom and discipline. Many people spend years wishing for greater financial freedom, imagining how life will change when resources finally arrive. Yet the moment those resources appear is the moment when character, patience, and judgment are truly tested. The way a person responds to financial favor often determines whether that blessing will grow into long-term stability or disappear as quickly as it arrived. One of the most important principles in handling financial favor is calmness. When money comes suddenly, excitement can lead to impulsive decisions. People may feel the urge to spend quickly, celebrate publicly, or make large commitments without careful thought. However, wisdom encourages a different response. Instead of rushing into action, a wise person pauses and reflects. They take time to understand the significance of the blessing and to consider how it should be managed responsibly. Calm thinking creates space for good decisions, while impulsive reactions often create regret. Another important aspect of wisdom with money is planning. Financial favor becomes powerful when it is guided by clear purpose. Rather than seeing money only as a source of temporary comfort, a thoughtful person sees it as a resource that can create lasting security. This means considering how the blessing can support future needs, strengthen family stability, and build opportunities that will continue to grow over time. Careful planning allows financial resources to become seeds that produce greater results rather than temporary solutions that quickly disappear. Humility also plays a crucial role when handling financial favor. When someone experiences improvement in their financial situation, it can be tempting to seek recognition or admiration from others. People may feel the desire to show visible signs of success, believing that wealth must be displayed in order to be appreciated. However, true wisdom understands that financial favor is most powerful when it is managed quietly and responsibly. Humility protects a person from pride and keeps their focus on wise stewardship rather than external approval. Another important element of financial wisdom is discipline. Money can easily be influenced by emotions if there is no structure guiding its use. A disciplined approach means creating clear priorities and respecting them. It means recognizing the difference between needs and temporary desires. Discipline allows a person to use financial resources in ways that support long-term growth instead of short-term satisfaction. Over time, this discipline builds confidence and stability, turning a single blessing into a foundation for future success. Financial favor also creates opportunities to help others in meaningful ways. When a person has more than they once had, they gain the ability to support family members, encourage others, and contribute to positive change. However, wisdom reminds us that generosity should be thoughtful rather than pressured. Giving should come from a place of purpose and understanding rather than from sudden emotional reactions or outside expectations. When generosity is guided by wisdom, it strengthens relationships and creates positive impact without creating unnecessary burdens. Gratitude is another powerful element that helps guide financial favor. Remembering the journey that came before the blessing keeps a person grounded. When someone remembers the times when resources were limited, they develop a deeper respect for what they now possess. Gratitude protects the heart from arrogance and reminds a person that every opportunity carries a deeper purpose. Over time, the consistent practice of wisdom, humility, discipline, and gratitude transforms financial favor into something far greater than money alone. It becomes stability, confidence, and the ability to make decisions that benefit both the present and the future. Those who approach financial blessings with thoughtful stewardship often discover that the true value of money is not found in how quickly it can be spent, but in how wisely it can be used to create lasting growth and meaningful impact. When a financial blessing enters a person's life, the first and most important response should be gratitude. Gratitude has a powerful way of shaping the heart and guiding the mind. It reminds us that every good opportunity, every door that opens, and every moment of provision carries a deeper meaning. Many people spend years hoping for relief from financial pressure, praying for a breakthrough that will change their circumstances. When that breakthrough finally arrives, gratitude keeps the moment sacred and meaningful rather than turning it into a moment of pride or careless celebration. Gratitude begins with recognition. It is the awareness that the blessing did not appear randomly, but came through a combination of faith, perseverance, and divine timing. When someone reflects on the struggles they faced before the blessing arrived, they develop a deeper appreciation for what they now have. This appreciation changes the way they handle their resources. Instead of treating money as something ordinary, they treat it as something valuable that deserves careful thought and responsible management. Stewardship naturally grows from gratitude. Stewardship means understanding that financial resources are not only meant for temporary enjoyment, but also for wise management and purposeful use. A person who practices stewardship asks thoughtful questions before making decisions. They consider how their choices today will influence their future tomorrow. They think about stability, long-term security, and the well-being of those around them. This mindset transforms financial blessings into opportunities for growth rather than moments of temporary excitement. Another important part of stewardship is patience. When people receive financial improvement, there is often pressure to make quick decisions. Some may feel the urge to change their lifestyle immediately, to spend more freely, or to prove their success to others. However, patience encourages a different approach. It encourages careful observation, thoughtful planning, and steady progress. Instead of rushing into visible changes, a patient person focuses on building a stable foundation that will support their future for many years. Stewardship also involves responsibility toward others. Financial blessings can create opportunities to bring positive influence into the lives of family members, friends, and communities. When someone manages their resources wisely, they gain the ability to provide support when it is truly needed. This support can appear in many forms: guidance, encouragement, or practical assistance. However, wisdom reminds us that helping others should be done thoughtfully, with balance and understanding. Responsible generosity strengthens relationships and creates meaningful impact without creating dependence or unnecessary pressure. Gratitude and stewardship together create a powerful mindset that protects a blessing from being wasted. When gratitude remains strong, pride has little space to grow. When stewardship guides decisions, resources are used carefully rather than impulsively. These two qualities help a person remain grounded even when their circumstances improve. They remind the individual that the purpose of prosperity is not simply personal comfort, but also growth, responsibility, and positive influence. Over time, the habits of gratitude and stewardship create stability that lasts far beyond a single financial opportunity. Money may come and go, but the character developed through wise stewardship remains. A grateful heart continues to recognize new opportunities, and a disciplined mind continues to manage resources wisely. Together, these qualities build a life that is not controlled by temporary success or failure, but guided by purpose and understanding. When a person learns to handle financial blessings with gratitude and careful stewardship, the blessing becomes something deeper than money itself. It becomes a foundation for security, a tool for meaningful impact, and a reminder that true prosperity is not measured only by what a person receives, but by how wisely and responsibly they choose to use it. Something very important: not everyone around you is ready to celebrate your blessing.